Alright everybody, welcome back. Tonight, I thought I'd kick off with a confidence fly mine. It's been a while since I've uploaded a tying video, but thought this would be a good one to start things off again. So this is a variation of the sparkle minnow. It's obviously a weighted version with the fish skull head, and it's basically polar flash and polar chenille with some rabbit and the fish skull head. So this is the finished fly, but we'll go ahead and get started here. Alright, so we're starting off here with a Gamakatsu B10S number 1. Both the hooks will be number 1. And go ahead and start the thread here. This is a uni thread 140. And the tail is the polar flash. This is the gold polar flash. Really awesome color. It's got a mix of synthetics in there, some like regular clear fibers along with some gold. Just a really nice kind of complementary color in there. So I just tie this right in half. It's pretty much the whole length of the hank you get. I'll cut off a full length and then tie it right in half in the middle and then flip it over just like that. Pretty simple. Your tail should be roughly even, so I just kind of trim it up there. This material, it's a lot like a Chenille minnow, where this material pulses and moves better if you actually keep the ends straight, so when you trim it. Alright, so the body is going to be this UV polar chenille. This is the rusty UV. This stuff looks pretty sweet. It's got some kind of coppery brown rust color, obviously, but it has that UV flash in there. It gives it like a purpley look, but it just looks really cool in the water. So with this stuff, I figure out which way it wants to go and just tie in that end right there. Make sure that's really secure. Advance your thread forward, and here I just make touching wraps with this material, just kind of stroking it backwards as a wrap. And tie it off there. And so I wrap backwards a little bit over that material. It helps secure it, but it also gives us some space for this rabbit hair. This stuff can be a little unwieldy, so I tend to kind of comb it back. I just have a comb here with some Velcro on the back of it. The Velcro really kind of straightens things out. I'm going to tie in this is a standard rabbit strip. It is barred on top. This is like a tan barred rabbit strip. Just going to tie that in on top, wrap back a little bit, and you just want to try to get two or three good solid wraps in here. And just kind of stroke that rabbit hair back as you go forward. Alright, right about there. Tie it off. And then I just build up a little bit of a head to secure the rabbit hair down and get it all kind of moving backwards. Build up a nice little thread head there. So this part of the fly right here, this is a great fly, especially for smallmouth, weightless, to just fish it just like it is. Obviously this is just the back half of this fly, but it's a pretty sweet fly just as it is right there. I also do a weighted version with a tungsten bead head of this single hook version, and man, that's really good too for trout whenever they want a smaller pattern, trout or bass. But alright, so that's the back half, and we'll get another hook in the vise here. And this articulation material I'm using is actually just chameleon. This is 40-pound Maxima chameleon, pretty stiff and tough stuff. Now a lot of folks will use wire here, but you know, I recently, a couple years ago, started using heavy mono, and I think honestly it's actually more durable than wire because it doesn't get kinked up and then the wire exposed. And once the wire is exposed, it tends to rust out. And once wire kinks a few times from a few fish, I've had some wire tail ends actually break off on me. And this mono just seems to hold up longer and doesn't rust as fast, obviously. I mean, doesn't rust at all compared to the wire. Now the beads I'm using, these are actually plastic beads. They're just from Walmart, but really universal color. This, if you can only have one color, man, this oil slick color, as I call it, matches with all kinds of different patterns and colors and flashes. Use it from everything from white to black, and there's not many beads you can do that with. Pull them tight, just with a nice little gap there so it'll swing. And fasten this mono down. Alright, so the material to cover up this bead spacer, just going to go back to that polar flash. And you just want to take a reasonable size clump, about the same clump as the tail, but you're going to measure off, again keeping this trimmed flat. You're going to measure it off so it bleeds into that last fly, about like that spacing. So I'll tie it down on my side here first, make sure I got the length right. And this is just kind of to cover up that articulation connection. Once I got on that side, I flip the material over, secure it down, and cut it the same length. Just iron it up with the scissors there. Make sure that material is spread out evenly around the hook. There you go, you got it just kind of veiling over into the rabbit. And we're going to come in again with the UV Polar Chenille Rusty, same color. We're going to leave just a little bit more space, not much, just because we got the fish skull head this time. So right there, about to where I tied in the articulation mono. And we're going to add another chunk of rabbit. So as you can see, this rabbit hair, it's going backwards here. I want to wrap away from me, so I kind of lay it that direction to wrap it in, to tie it in, and just make sure it's really secure. And then again, you know, 2 or 3 good wraps. I like to have a little bit more hair up front here if I can. That fish skull head will smash it all down and it'll pop out of the head and make a nice collar. Alright, so we got some nice color there. Alright, so here we can go ahead and whip finish. And we're going to come in with the fish skull head. So to do that, you want to use a really healthy amount of this gel super glue. And this is the thicker gel glue, so it doesn't run. You can just put it right where you want it. So it's gooped up there pretty good. I don't know if you can see that. And these fish skull helmets, or the heads, they do have a heavy side to them. So if you look at them kind of straight on, the one side has more metal, and you want that side facing downward. So we'll go ahead and slip that on there, and you want to push it back nice and firm. Set in that glue, look down the fly, make sure everything's set straight. I just push it back there really hard, kind of mashing that material. And what I'm trying to do is just make sure I fully expose that hook eye. And then what I'll do, just to make sure that helmet, that skull doesn't come off, I'll make a few wraps in front of it as well to make a little thread dam, and just whip finish that a few times. And that just really ensures that that fish helmet's not going anywhere, the fish skull. And I'll also touch that with some solar res. Alright, now time for the eyes. These are the eyes that come on the fish skull, come with it. You just want to use a really small dot of this gel glue again. And the last step is I do take the solar res. This is pretty tough stuff. So just for durability purposes of the eye and to make it pop a little bit, I put a clear coat of the solar res. And as you're brushing it on, you want to make sure you cover up where, you know, the eye actually meets the fish skull there, kind of on the crease of the eye. And if you cover all that up and make a clean connection over everything, it'll just make a solid shell, and these will last way longer for you. Alrighty, so there it is. You know, a little variation on the Sparkle Minnow, articulated version. Tie 'em up, give it a try. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the action. These have some serious drawing power, and they are super flashy. But I generally use them on a bright day and work them pretty quick, and it's amazing the kind of bites they'll draw out. So fish it, let me know how it goes for you, and we'll see you next time. God bless.